And for Fighting Irish Preview, I'm Phil Houk, and it's just a couple hours before kickoff. And let me tell you, it is a great day, and it's great to be back at Notre Dame Stadium. The campus is in all of its glory today. Temperatures in the low 80s and lots of sunshine, and fans are excited about Marcus Freeman's debut here on Notre Dame hallowed turf today. And also a matchup today against the first ever opponent in the Marshall Thundering Herd. The Herd was, they were 55-3 winners a week ago against FCS Norfolk State. And here's what I'm thinking just before kickoff. Normally, a bit of a letdown after a big game against, top 5 matchup against Ohio State last week. But I don't see that today. I don't see Notre Dame being let down at all. Just don't buy it. This team wanted Marcus Freeman to be their head coach, and they want to win for Marcus Freeman. So I expect a really top-notch effort here today. They want to get that first win for their coach. And of course, nobody's more competitive than Marcus Freeman. He wants that first win at all as well. Another thing I'm thinking, oftentimes in the Brian Kelly era, it seemed that the Irish would play down to their opponent's capabilities level. I'm thinking specifically right now, but against last year against Toledo, Irish escaped in that game after being big favorites, and 3-4 years ago against Ball State, where the Irish had to recover an onside kick at the end of the game to seal a victory. Don't expect that today. I expect, again, for the same reasons we talked about a minute ago, the Irish to be a focused team and play very hard, and I don't expect Marcus Freeman to let off the gas in this game. I expect him to get aggressive early in this football game. He has said as much more aggressive than you saw last week against Ohio State, and I expect them to get off, like I said, to a fast start, to play well, and hopefully salt this one away early from the Irish perspective. Another thing I'm thinking about is ND puts its foot on the accelerator. A lot of time late in games, you would see Brian Kelly kind of let up and not score points at the end of games. He said he didn't care much for style points. Well, that's kind of old school, and I get it, but Marcus Freeman is not old school. I expect that if Marcus Freeman gets the opportunity, he'll be like almost everybody else in college football today, different from Brian Kelly, and he's going to score touchdowns late in this game. Those are the sorts of things, let's face it, that impress pollsters. And I'm thinking about the offensive line, and all I can say is welcome back Jarrett Patterson. Jarrett Patterson, who missed last week with a foot injury, is expected back. The offensive line did not perform particularly well against Ohio State last week. Harry Heastan, I'm sure, the offensive line coach for the Irish, had his guys' full attention, and I expect a very much improved performance today by the Irish, not just because they're facing off against Marshall instead of Ohio State, but because Jarrett Patterson should be back, and he is their best offensive lineman. And finally, the pass rush. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. Last week, just 1 sack in the ball game. Watch today for Isaiah Foskey and Riley Mills to really impact the football game and to exploit an experienced and unsettled Marshall offensive line to bring some real pressure on the quarterback for Marshall. That's Henry Columbi. Columbi is a transfer from Texas Tech, pretty good quarterback, had a good game a week ago against Norfolk State, but he's not C.J. Stroud. Nobody is C.J. Stroud, and I expect much better maybe numbers out of the pass rush today for the Irish. Just a small chance of rain today, late in the game today, and game time temperature is forecast to be 83 degrees. Notre Dame is a 20.5-point favorite. And the Fighting Irish preview pick, Notre Dame 41, Marshall 14. Check us out at fightingirishpreview.com. And for Fighting Irish Preview, I'm Phil Houk, and we'll talk to you after the game.